My son's only birthday wish was to visit the museum he used to go to with his late mom. I took that away from him. Am I the asshole for making my son cry? I, 47M, have a son, 14M, from a previous marriage to my late wife. She passed 2 years ago, and for my son the wound is still very fresh. My son and her were very close as they look exactly alike and had a lot of the same interest in reading, history, and art. Their favorite place in the world is the British Museum in London. Their passion project has been redrawing paces from a museum for the last 2 years before. For the last 4 years, for my wife's birthday in June and my son's birthday in December, we go to England for a week so they can spend time in the museum. However, since she died, my son and I have continued going for his birthday. The problem is with my new wife, 39F. She's only been with us on this annual trip once last year, and she complained the whole time. Now, however, we recently found out we are expecting a child together in May. She raised it to my attention that the money I've used for the trip could be better used to be saved for the baby, and we could instead do something else for my son's birthday. I thought about it, and I agreed. I was worried how he'd take it, as this is the only thing he wants for his birthday. He doesn't ask for gifts or cake or a party. All he cares about is this goddamn museum. We broke the news to my son yesterday, and he flipped out. He was so upset, and when my wife tried to tell him why we were saving the money and where the money was going to, he said he didn't give a damn, and we got into an argument about it. He said he was upset because if he didn't go this year, he'd miss the new exhibit he'd been wanting to see, and he accused my wife of doing this on purpose because she already doesn't like me, he said. I admit I yelled at him, and he started crying, and for the last 24 hours, he hasn't spoken to me. Am I the asshole? Update. So a year ago, I, 48M, made a post online about the issue I was having with my son, 15M, and my new wife, 40F. I've gotten many messages and comments asking what happened, so I decided to make an update. So the big thing first. Did I take my son on his birthday trip? Nope, but let me explain. So, after my son and I got into a fight, he went and complained to his uncle, my late wife's older brother, 47M, and his husband, 47M. I'll go ahead and say that since my late wife got sick, and even after she died, her brother and I never got along. He, his husband, and most of her family liked to judge me for how quickly I remarried. However, my son has kept a good relationship with them, and once he told them about what happened, they called and offered to take him themselves. I was all for it, but my wife was not. She thought if we let my son go with them, they'd fill his head with lies about her and only deepen the rift between us. Since the situation was causing her so much stress, and she was pregnant at the time, I decided to decline their offer, which only made things worse. Eventually, after about 3 days, we finally sat down and talked. He said he was unhappy with the way she was treating him and often felt like she was trying to erase his mom's touch from the house. He felt like she was constantly criticizing him and didn't want him around. When I confronted my wife about this, she was offended. She said she wasn't trying to erase his mother, but simply add her own touch to the space. She wasn't criticizing him, simply parenting. Eventually, my son accepted that he wouldn't be able to go on his trip and was noticeably bummed out about it. So his boyfriend and his friend spent his birthday at our house, trying to cheer him up. A sweet gesture, but I don't think it worked. Over the last year, my wife had our baby, and now that my son's birthday is approaching, he's become more bitter and resentful over what happened last year. He spends more time away from home. He's been rude and disrespectful to his stepmother and been seeing his therapist more frequently. Now that we've all adjusted to having a new baby and my son's birthday is approaching again, I'm thinking if I should resume the tradition of taking my son back to the museum. I think it would be a good idea to hopefully do some family bonding, and honestly, I'm feeling really guilty about what happened last year. My wife has her reservations for saying it would only reward his bad behavior. I guess I'm making this update to not only inform the people of Reddit, but also ask for a little advice if it's allowed. What should I do? I only want to be a better dad.